Hey Broken Tea Society, I am back with your short game coach for the index experiment, Mr. Parker McLachlin, aka Short Game Chef. I will be his sous chef today. We are getting a lot of questions, Parker, on Discord about the bump and run, specifically when you have to navigate sort of a slope in front of the green. This is a situation us amateurs find ourselves in often. Could be short-sighted, could be quite long, but this is a shot the pros make look so routine all the time. They pick the right club, they pick the right landing point, and they have the right weight always. Yep. Not always the case with us. I think often we revert back to a lot of loft, try to carry it on the green, and bad things happen. So I want to talk through your philosophy sort of on the classic bump and run.
Yeah, so when you watch the tour pros, like over the green on 15, we were just talking about before we came on air. So over the green on 15.
At Augusta.
At Augusta,
yes.
You're trying to hit that bump and run into the hill to get it to bounce up and then check. Green's going away from you right after that.
Yeah.
That's where the guys are grabbing still their most lofted wedge. So to me, I don't recommend trying to hit a bump and run with your most lofted wedge for an amateur player.
That's an extreme example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking like the margins are so small that the guys have to hit that bump, check, and then trickle, right? Yeah. I don't think that amateurs need to do that. I think you grab a 7-iron, a 9-iron, even a hybrid. It's a much more efficient play for the amateur player. We look at this pin right here. I've got my highest lofted wedge, and if I was just going to hit like a high soft one, I don't know if I can really get it that close to the hole. I mean, that's as good as I can do, right?
Yeah.
And it's still rolling like 10 feet away,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but that's a perfect shot for me. Now, I think a more efficient play is if you go and grab you grab a hybrid, and we've got this slope to negotiate, right? So a lot of people say, oh, this is like a bailout kind of a club, but it works, right? A putter wouldn't necessarily work here, but you can use a similar type of method, and that thing's inside of 2 feet, right? Almost made it. It's really easy to use.
And how do you develop the feel with this club? Because this is the problem I think that us amateurs, we shy away from this because it comes out so much hotter than we think. Is this just a practice thing?
No, it's a philosophy thing. You see this club, you take your normal grip, and then you go, I'm going to try to hit it.
Mm.
What I want you to do is just make a stroke, right?
Pretty good shot, by the way.
I want you to make a stroke. I don't want you to make a hit, right? I want you to make a stroke. So I want this shaft going more vertical, okay? I want you to step closer to it. And from here, I want you to grip it like you're going to grip your putter. At this point, and I'm okay if you're a claw guy or a left-hand low guy, I'm okay if you want to do that. I would say from here, you're just making a stroke with your shoulders. And it usually comes out pretty darn good almost every time.
Now, all right, so that's one way we can go about it.
Yep.
Right? The hybrid 3-wood play. Give me some other options.
So now we go down to like a 7-iron.
Okay.
And the 7-iron, we're going to do a lot of the same things. So we're going to get really close to it. Like if I was going to have you step in here, this would be like kind of a normal 7-iron setup for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get probably almost a foot closer. So I'm almost right on top of this golf ball.
And you can see that butt end of the club is like going up to your chin.
Up to my chin almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really key. What this does is it puts our lead wrist in ulnar deviation, and this is going to really take away a lot of our power. The second that I get down here, this thing then becomes a hinge and a hit. So I want to get up here, remove this power source, okay? Feet are still close together, and I'm going to feel again like I'm making a putting stroke.
Mm.
And that thing comes out pretty darn good too.
Yeah, it got some flight on it. It checked into the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, so this landed just before the bottom of the hill. There's an option to definitely hit the hill at first as well, but it really depends on the severity of the slope. I think Phil had done something where it was like, if it's more than 30 degrees, you don't want to land it into the slope because it'll just kill it.
Yeah.
So you need to land it before the slope or on top of the slope.
Interesting. So I think a lot of us were looking at this shot and we're saying what part of the slope am I need to bump this into? And with the 7-iron, you're opening up this entire space in front of it.
Yes. And so what I don't want you to do is grab your wedge and be like, oh, I'm going to hit the perfect shot, land it right into the middle of the hill. It's going to kick it and be so checky and sweet and look like a tour player.
Yeah.
Don't do that. All right.
Still
There's
not over
other
there.
ways of playing it. So now I grab a 9-iron, same type of philosophy. And what I might do with the 9, because it has a little bit more loft on it, is I may actually, what I'll do is I'll turn the face down just a little bit. So I'll toe it in just a little bit, and that's going to help it run out just a little.
A little hooded 9-iron.
A little hooded, yeah. So I turn it down, and I will feel a little bit more of a draw path here. And that thing comes out almost the same.
So soft.
It's so soft.
Yeah.
Want to try?
Yeah, absolutely.
So 9-iron, I would probably start you with like a lower lofted club, like a 7, but let's go with the 9. Closer than you've ever been in your life to a shot. There you go. Awesome.
Okay. So toe is down.
Toe, yeah, the toe is going to be more engaged. And then feel like you toe it in just a fraction, and then I want you to feel like you're making a putting stroke. You got your putting grip?
No.
There you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So now make what you feel like is a putting stroke. Comes out way softer, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, adjust for that. I'd much rather have your first miss be on the soft side than the one that goes screaming over
And
the
I think
green.
long, right? You would agree long here is the majority of the time is what you're going to find with amateurs trying to play this shot.
Yep. So teaching them how to understand how to soften it properly is what we're looking for.
All right, so I'm super close to it.
Yep. Now just a bigger putting stroke than you made on the last one.
Oh my.
Wow, that was so good.
Please do
Go
it.
in. That was nice. But again, it wasn't a hit, it was just a stroke.
No.
And I think that's where people get a little caught up. They try to like hit it. And I think if you were to grab your wedge and put your normal grip on, you'd have the thought of like, I need to hit this thing.
So this is not a hit and run.
No,
This
it's not a hit and run.
This is the bump and run.
Yep.
And so I like that we're taking the hit out of it by stance, club choice, grip, all of those factors.
Yep.
And short is good. I think.
Short is properly hit short shots are okay because they're always going to be sort of working towards the hole.
Yeah.
The second you hit one that's screaming, the second it gets past the hole, it's getting further and further from the hole.
Okay.
We always want to be sort of inching up towards the hole here.
Now hit a couple to this farther flag too, and tell me how that goes.
Yeah. So if we're going to go to the farther flag, I would say potentially we're going to try to fly it onto the green.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to hit a bump and run to the farther flag, to me, I'm probably making about the same stroke. I'm probably going to hood this 7-iron just a little bit.
That's pretty.
Probably 5-6 feet past the hole.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I hit it perfect, but it's still like, I feel like the margin of error on this bump and run is pretty good. It's stacked in my favor.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, for what you guys are trying to do with the index experiment, what I'm trying to do is help people understand and enjoy the game more. So if you can understand what's going to help you play better golf, because golf is so damn hard, right? It's just a hard game to play. And if I can do something to help you stack the odds in your favor just a little bit, I'm all for doing that. But you have to understand the mechanics behind it. I don't want you setting up to this shot and being like, oh yeah, Parker said to hit a 7-iron and you look like this, and you're like, why is that not working, right? But that's what it's like, it's a totally different mindset when you come up here and you're like, oh, now I'm like closer than I've ever been on any shot that you've ever hit in your life, right?
Yes.
So you get there, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you stack the odds in your favor.
And this is a theme I think that runs throughout a lot of the shots that you've taught us. The bunker shot, the splash, the downhill lie. We're taking speed out of it, and we're allowing us to be aggressive in the stroke. Like you can go ahead and hit this now and not fear that this thing is going to, scream out past the flag and go over the green.
Yeah, because of setup.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do. Get you in the right spot setup-wise so that you can actually make an aggressive swing. Ideally, that's what every great player does with their short game. They're never like, oh, I'm going to get really slow right at the ball. All the great short gamers are always very aggressive through it.
Yep.
One way or the other, they're always very aggressive. But they've done that because their setup is in the right spot. And they're allowing themselves the freedom to be athletic, to be aggressive, and to be really free.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so get the shaft up, get super close to it, find a grip that you can make a stroke with, and do not hit the bump and run.
exactly right.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.